Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Close One with AI. Today, the guest that I have on my show is somebody that I've been waiting to speak to for a very long time. And I'm going to give you an introduction of him. Just try not to be mind blown. So, he started as a software engineer and built his way up to leading a team of 350 plus engineers across some of the world's biggest companies. He's a Forbes Technology Council member. He's a keynote speaker on AI and cloud innovation, and the founder of Aleph AI and DevLoops, which is an AI native venture studio backing the next generation of companies built around AI from day one. He's delivered over 170 enterprise scale projects across 20 plus countries, created over half a billion in client value, and supported 200 plus startups. Please help me welcome Arslan Ehsan. Hello, Arslan. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Yes, Subhan, thank you so much for having me. Better than ever, man. It's good to be with you.
So, I'm really glad to have you on the show. I have a lot of questions to ask you. But first question that I always ask my guests is to understand them on a bit deeper level. Can you tell me who you are outside of work and what are your hobbies and what is it that you like to do in your free time before we start discussing the work stuff?
Wow. Thank you so much for asking that. It's been a while that, like doing things outside of my work. But yeah, I used to travel a lot. Have been to more than 18 countries. Just got returned from UAE and then USA, exhibiting over there. A lot of traveling into the European region and then the Asian region and you name it. And I have been there. So I love exploring them. I love knowing about their culture, living on the plane. So yeah, that's one thing that I'm doing outside what I'm building as of now. And then yeah, I play snooker, a little bit of soccer, and yeah, table tennis and bunch of other stuff as well.
I would love to play table tennis with you sometime.
For sure, why not? You're more than welcome to join at my office.
Yeah, I used to have that in my office, and I used to be not bragging, but pretty good at that. But I'd love to
Okay,
play. You mentioned that you used to do a lot of these things. Seems like you're almost always caught up with work these days. Is that true?
Of course it is. Right now I'm building two companies, so you know that this process is not very easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess quite a lot into work, but it's going quite well so far.
So when I was doing research, I found out that you were building two companies. You're at a really good scale right now. So what motivated you to start another company when you already had a very well established company?
So I guess to answer that, you have to get back into my industry, into the history. Around 15 years back when I was into Punjab University, into fourth semester of my university. At that time, there was a new game, new movie out there, which was Zombies Hunter. From getting inspired, I built up a game called Zombie Hunter, and that game got a lot of popularity. That's where I got the acquisition offer along with a bundle of other good high power as well. I was more like a builder when I was very young, mostly building different businesses or looking into the businesses. So I know that was something which is in me. But being belonging to a humble family, it was not possible to directly jump into my own company at that time, right? So that's where I took the most easiest and smoother road, which is about getting into the job market. And that's where I prefer to work with a startup. I work with a startup, started as a dev, wearing multiple different hats, reached all the way towards CTO. And then that was going quite well. Then I feel like okay, let's start my own company. That's when I initially started Deathloop. It was going quite well, but I felt like it is too small. I still need to learn a lot. And that's where I met two world's top renowned AI leaders. They were starting up their company. I was lucky enough to be there, and that's where I become the founding employee of that company. Started with one member, reached all the way towards 350 people, delivering most of the enterprise projects like for the mostly Fortune 500s or all the gold tier enterprise clients. And then, developing and building that company and scaling it, all the way towards 350 people and multi-million dollar revenue and working with some of the gold tier enterprise clients, I felt like this is the time I can build again. Right? And that's when I started Alif AI. So Alif AI is more about building up some of the AI native startup ventures where I crafted some of the ideas, build those ideas with the team, bring on the domain experts, and then spin that out as an individual company. To move forward with that particular product. There are three ideas where I'm working right now. And then, when I was doing it for myself, I thought, why not doing it for others? And that's when one of my friend who was already reinitiated Airflow, he asked me to join in, and I co-founded that as well. And yeah, we are helping other founders to build their companies again. So builder, that's what I have been doing before, and that's what is which is in my blood. So yeah, back to that journey again.
That's amazing. What keeps you motivated to keep going? Because I am certain that your financial goals have already been met.
Yeah, I guess this is the question which I keep on asking myself. Previous, when I was quite young, the goal was more about get the financial freedom before
Yeah.
you're 40, and then once you turn 40, just live your dream life and just do what you love to do, right? And that was the kind of goal which I have back in my mind, and that was exactly the same goal which was precisely pushing me to work 18 hours, 20 hours a day because I wanted to get an early retirement. But once I get deeper into the industry, the people I look upon, and all those top successful people, I have witnessed a pattern like it is not about building something and getting stopped and living up a retired life or that kind of life. It's not something which is built for the crazy people like us, right? So whenever I see all the successful people, even besides having multi-million dollars, no pressure at all, they're still working days and night and still moving ahead. And one thing is more like it's more like part of your blood and part of your lifestyle, which you need to keep going. So now my goals are more about yeah, work until you are still able to work. And then another part is more about already achieve my financial freedom a while ago when I decided to quit the job and getting into these kind of more riskier businesses and startups. But one of the things which keeps me motivated building about is to give back to the society, because I feel like I do have that obligation to support the people. I still remember when I built my first company, I helped work with 4 or 5 people, which was literally at a very different level at the time. Now every single one of them is making half a million to 1 million, and their life is literally changed, and that gives me immense pleasure as well as satisfaction. So now I guess it's more about if God have given you the ability, why not using it? So using it for multiple things. One, to build something good by utilizing all the abilities. Another one is to give back to the society, and of course, yeah, bring something good in the world.
There is this very famous saying that finances amplifies who the person really is. So the more that you make, the more amplified your personality get. Good people become even more bitter and more
Yeah.
giving, and people who are not good, well, that's a different story. That clearly shows that Allah has given you success because He knew that you are going to be the right person for the job. It seems like.
Alhamdulillah, thank you so much for the kind words, but yeah, just trying to be the right person or to do the job.
How old were you when you were able to achieve your financial freedom?
Just a couple of years ago, not so long, but yeah, I was at around 31. Yeah, 31 years old.
And how old are you right now, if you don't mind me asking?
That that's a very interesting question. I just turned 34.
Wow, that's very nice. That's really amazing. That's
Well,
amazing. So for every person, their financial goals are different, obviously. So when you were setting your financial goals that I want to achieve this, how did you decide what that is for you? Did you set a number for yourself, or did you have any other criteria to measure that?
so I love the way where the conversation is going, right? But yeah, would love to talk about this one as well. So I guess it is not about some specific numbers. I won't say that I have like absolutely achieved that financial freedom and all that kind of stuff. But I'm a kind of person with very little desires, right? Not too much to get, or living humbly. That's one of the goals. And then when I said achieving the financial freedom, the goal was more about your kitchen money should not be dependent on your active job, right, or active business, right? So whatever happens to your active business or the other stuff, that should be utilized for the growth of it. But your core kitchen money and your family savings and the rest of things, that should be moved on towards automation, right? So this is a part which also gives me a lot of confidence to jump into my own really startups and do a lot of experimentations around that. So my first goal was to literally secure enough that maybe I need to get a small house, maybe a car, maybe a little bit of investment which is going to give me enough that all of my kitchen money is getting operated through that. So that was the one of the bigger milestone which I have was working for since last 14 years. Right. And after 14 years it took me that stage where I literally automated it over. And once that part is automated, the rest is just a number, right? So yeah, I guess that's part which matters the most, and that is what which I call my financial freedom. That since that part is taken care, now I'm only focused on building something good, doing a lot of experimentation, maybe giving back to the society, and yeah, utilizing all the abilities to make a difference in this world.
Absolutely. So, in growing a company, what were the struggles that you faced getting to this point? Because a lot of people are trying to grow their companies, and only a
So I
select
guess
few are able to achieve this level of success.
Yeah, so I guess there are different stages of doing those or different stages into different companies, right? And then every company is going to have its own phase,
Right.
right? At one phase there are some engineering struggles. At another phase there are sales struggles. Another phase there are retention struggles, right? So at every phase, different kind of struggles that you're going to face in. But I guess one thing that everyone should be focusing on is, where does the company needs you the most, right? If at a certain point company needs you as an office boy washing the dishes or making up the tea, let's do that job. If they wanted you as an engineer building Android applications or maybe the web applications, become that person. If they wanted to be into more like a client phase, getting into that kind of managerial role, right, you have to do that part. Like, I love coding. I was really good at technical implementations, and that was my passion. But when I started building companies, I feel like my coding is not needed anymore. If I can, amplify the work of more than 200 people or 300 people, that means I'm going to generate 300x productivity, right, and results. So I guess to make any company successful, the core job is more about where, when, and how to wear the right hat where your company needs you the most, and then
Right.
making all those decisions which are right for your company, not for yourself, not for your employees, not for your a kind of personal needs or desires, etc. Whatever which is best for the company, if you are going to start making those decisions, um, there is no way that the employers or clients or yourself is not going to get benefit out of it.
Okay, I understand. And To grow a company, it is very important to have clients that trust you, that pay you, give you their projects. There are a lot of companies out there right now who are struggling to acquire even a single new client. They have the skill and they have the dedication, they have the motivation. Some of them have really good teams as well, but they are unable to acquire new projects. What clicked for you?
So I guess like client acquisition is a different part. Your client, it's not about you're getting up some of the services or some of the package things, go out into the market and they will start selling out, right? You sales is more about a person to person trust and human level thing, right? If someone don't trust you,
Yeah,
no matter how good you are, how cheaper you are, how efficient you are, they're not going to give you the product,
agreed.
right?
Agreed.
So I guess the first part is more about building out that trust and authority, for your clients,
Yeah,
right? So, for example, in terms of my case, right, what I used to do is always try to help out, right? And then whenever I interact with someone, I try to get about their pain points. Uh, what are the areas where they are struggling at, and where I can literally add my little 2 cents, in order to make their lives easier, right? So now, and this is one part. Another part is more about you need to understand that persona. If that persona is a CTO, if that persona is a CEO, if that persona is an engineering manager, all three personas have different kind of problem statements,
agreed.
and you cannot go to them with the same page and the same kind of solution, right? You have to understand what kind of problem statements they're having over, right, and how you can best contribute on that side. So I guess this is something which I have been doing quite a lot, working with mostly the co-founders, understanding their personality angles, and then one of the part which also gives me a little bit diversity is more about I have already worked with more than 350 different organizations, their top level, different industries, different kind of problem statements, right? So it gives me quite a good liberty, to directly jump in and zoom in into the kind of exact problem statements which they are facing in, right? And then from that existing experience, when I start spilling out the solutions or potential opportunities, those are the things which start clicking out, right? And then I always start small. I always start on the right foot with absolute transparency, ethics, and the right trust. Once that trust is established, the limit is sky.
I absolutely agree with that. How did you get your first client and how did that make you feel?
So I guess first clients at multiple different stages and companies. So every company got a different client, right? So I literally feel like the most recent company that I lastly built, we was just 3-4 people, and we started writing for a proposal for a potentially $3 million client. That company was not even born. Like the things was too raw at that moment. And when we was writing up all that proposal, we was just praying that, you know, like the client should not give us that project. If he give it, who's gonna implement it over? That was a kind of stage, when we was doing that. So, anyways, we built that project, we delivered it over, and yeah, it turned out to be a very good project, and we was kind of building up a plane while we are already flying in it.
Yeah.
So that was one experience. Another one was more about I was hiking on the Beverly Hills with a couple of a very small co-founders group. There was other founders. There was me. The same Beverly Hills where Los Angeles fires were erupted, a while ago. And then during that hike, I had very candid conversation with a couple of co-founders, which were looking forward to build up a healthcare product. And yeah, I spilled out some of the ideas, and they were like, "Arslan, why don't you build it for us?" Right. And then I started building it over, and right now they're at $14.8 million ARR, just in 1 months. So yeah, this is more like another journey, which I love to share.
Very nice. That's amazing. So, as we're reaching towards the end of our podcast, I do want to dive into one more topic, AI. So,
Okay.
as you know, that it is taking over businesses, but it's just been 3 or 4 years, and you have been in your industry for many years now. How have you seen the things change because of how AI is coming into our lives and into our businesses?
So I guess like it's AI everywhere, right? We
Uh-huh.
started working in it, and it was not more than a buzzword, and then started implementing it from all of the clients. Um, what we have seen, most of the time is like it felt more like a race because XYZ company is doing it, we have to do it as well. And then they directly, the technical people, they start directly jumping into the use case implementation or having the agentic AI for the sake of having that, right? The part which they are missing most of the time and also resulting more than 90% of the AI projects getting failure is they don't think holistically in terms of ROI, right? So instead of just bringing up agentic AI to solve their XYZ pain points, right? If they have done an internal exercise that what their company is doing, what their company's business operations are, and then how AI is directly going to contribute in terms of increasing their revenues or having direct impact on top of their business use cases, right? That is the part which they're missing out. And there are two things which are kind of holding them back. One, they're mostly relying on their in-house resources because all those in-house resources, they are living into a bubble of that very same company. They don't know what kind of other implementations are happening into the other companies, right? So that's where they fail to get the best implementation for their business. And then the second, problem is more about when they um, instead of looking or having a proper roadmap around the use cases, they directly jump into some core implementation, and then they realize that okay, it is a good fancy thing to have, but it's not directly impacting on the revenue side, right? So I guess these are some of the implementation things which most of the companies are experiencing. But in general, if I speak about AI, there is no life without it. If I speak about from my recent trip to Silicon Valley and even exhibiting over there or speaking with most of the CTOs or CEOs, around 80 to 90% of the people engineering on the engineering side in the US, they are already generating 100% of their code using AI, right?
Wow,
So it is going
nice.
to be a different word for professional services and software engineers, right? Typically residing in the rest of the world. And then the second part is more about, now they are not just, leaving AI in the hands of technical people. They are bringing it very fast into the hands of direct consumers, let it be the doctors or engineers or mechanical engineers or petroleum engineers as well. They are coding their applications with that, right? So I guess with this level of widespread of AI, the future is going to look very different from
Hmm.
what we are witnessing today.
I agree with that. And as a person who is leading two companies, do you have any favorite tools that you use on daily basis?
Um, yeah, I guess like it's more about the ecosystem. For example, I'm using G Suite at the moment, and I love Notebook LM. Right. Even before coming into this podcast, I gave it the URL of your YouTube handler to the Notebook LM. It extracted all the past podcasts that you have done over there, and then it told me, okay, this is going to the format, this is all you can prepare it over, etc., etc. That is the kind of tool that which is quite helpful in one terms. Another one is the AI Studio. I love speaking about Gemini's implementation into the Excel or Word, or around 90% of my emails are written by Gen AI of G Suite already. And then another part is more about Claude. Claude is something which I love using over, and It never misses a chance to amaze me whenever I ask him a
Mhm.
question. Right.
I
So
agree.
yeah, I guess these are the two which I'm going to highly recommend.
Absolutely. So, Arsalan, thank you so much for taking the time out and having this conversation. You have shared invaluable insights, and I am really mesmerized by learning from your experience. To everyone listening to this, I am going to leave Arsalan's LinkedIn profile below so that you can follow him and learn from his experience as well. If you want to learn similar stories and if you want to see how AI is changing businesses and our day to day life, subscribe to the channel and I will see you in the next episode. Please stay with me, Arslan.